Hi, I'm Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full yoga practice. This week, we're working with the theme of wisdom. And that to me means reflecting and always being open to learning. And like I always say, wisdom is the gift of aging. So let's go ahead and take this yoga practice today where we're going to focus on hips. And the hips are really important as our foundation. And we're going to go deep into some stretches and some strengthening. I always practice with a set of yoga blocks and a little towel, but no props are necessary. So let's take a moment to find a quiet centering, and I'll meet you on the mat. So let's take a moment to just sit up and take a breath in, big breath in into the entire rib cage, and then exhale. And we'll begin to move. So we'll come on to all fours, making your way to all fours, and we're just going to start to move the spine. So as you inhale, we contract the back muscles and open the front. And then as you exhale, we pull the belly in, we round the spine, and get a sense of lifting up. Inhale and come forward and arch. And exhale and round the spine. And then come to neutral. And then from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. So just breathe here. Notice what's going on in your body today. Inhale. Maybe you want to bend the knees and get the back really lengthened, and then try and straighten. And listen to your body. Maybe you want to move your shoulders a little bit. Inhale and exhale. Breathing as I reflect on what's going on in my body. I can feel my calves here. And I know they get a little tight, so I'm really focusing on that. And then walk up. And as you walk up, notice what you're feeling, what's going on in your body. And fold. And today, let's go ahead and hang for a moment and see if you can just feel the weight of your elbows pulling you. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And then let's slowly release the hands and start to curl up. You could bend your knees if you wanted to, pulling the belly in. And coming all the way up. When you get to the top of the spine, just roll the shoulders down and wide and pause here for a moment. And then we'll take everything into Samasthiti. So just feel the energy of your legs engaged up to your pelvis, and then balance the pelvis. So pubic bone and belly button on the same plane. And then let's inhale here, reach up, Surya Namaskar A. Really reaching. Exhale, fold. And then from here, taking the hands down, inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back to plank pose. Hold the plank for a moment. Notice, are you sagging or is your butt up? Get the tail under and widen across the shoulder blades, protract. And then I'm going to come down to my knees so I can maintain this body line, lowering, the shoulders stay down, rise up, and we'll come through to upward facing dog. Inhale. Lift the sternum, tail is under, gazing down the nose and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just pause here. You can step in if you need to, adjust. Inhale, your body knows where it wants to go. Breathe, inhale. And as I age, I listen to my body more. It's less about striving. It's more about being in the moment of where my body is today. I already feel everything opening up, breathing, and let's make our way up and go slowly. I like pressing down. I like getting the most out of every move. This feels really nice. And fold. Inhale, lengthen, and rise. And exhale, hands down. I'm going to go to Surya Namaskar B, and I'm going to use the blocks because they give me some height, and it makes my practice feel lighter. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. I'm going to go ahead and lightly hop back, lift up, And now we're going to lower. And then rise and come through. Tail is under. Lift the sternum. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to come into a lunge. So I like this lunge because it really challenges the hips. We're going to really pull the right hip back and then tuck the back hip, the left hip under. And so you feel this nice stretch on the hip flexors in the front. And then here we're going to take these angel arms. The shoulders go down and in a bit. And we're using the back muscles to open the front. Now I start to straighten the back leg. Hips are strong and stable. Inhale here. Exhale, go back. Inhale, exhale, go back. Inhale, rise up. And then you're going to reach forward. Keep trying to pull the right butt back. And then we step back. You can really feel the foundation of the hips in that pose. And lower and rise. And then inhale and come through. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do the left side. Step the left foot forward. Start to rise up. We're going to bend the back knee. Pull the left hip back, the right butt under. And then we find angel arms, which is just your back contracting so you can open your front. Start to straighten the back leg as you reach the arms. Feel those hips nice and stable. Reach and rise up. Even if you start to wobble a little bit, it's okay. It's about the recovery. Reach and take the hands down. Step back and let's lower and rise. Come through. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, taking it back, downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale, keep the lift of the belly. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, find a little target. You can lightly walk up, or you might want to lift and try and put your feet down and fold, bending the knees, reaching the arms, and come to stand. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar B, this time with Warrior One. So inhale, reach your arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Lightly taking it back, lift up, back. And then we're going to lower and rise, coming through, tail under, sternum lifted, and downward facing dog. Now we're stepping into Warrior One. So we're going to turn the back foot out. So that hip might turn out a little. That's okay. You want to pull the right hip back for balance and turn the ribs forward as you reach up. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Listen to what's going on in your body. Inhale. Exhale. And rise up. I like to do this where I lift the back heel and reach forward just to get a little bit more work and stabilization in the hips. And step back. And let's go ahead and lower. And rise. And come forward. Lift the sternum. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Step the left foot forward. Right foot down. So we're going to turn the ribs to face forward. Keep pulling the left butt back. Right butt under. Reach up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Rise up. Feel those legs, those hips nice and strong, pulling the left hip back, right? Left butt back. Reach. And come down. Let's go ahead and lower. And rise. And come through. Lifting the sternum. Tail is under. And then we'll take it back. Downward facing dog. Make sure you keep the lift of the belly. Breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Stay connected to your breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then we're going to make our way up to the front. Lift up and fold. Bending the knees, reaching the arms, and come to stand. And then from here, we're going to take the feet out, hip width. Finding your hip sockets, you're going to reach forward, coming into Uttanasana. So from here, I'm extending my spine. Now I'm going to take my hands on my shins and see if I can even find that more. So engage the legs, hinging at the hips. And then from here, we're going to make that hip crease deeper. And then at some point, you could just draw the head down and breathe. Try and straighten your legs. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Really engaging, breathing. And then inhale, look up and lengthen, and rise up. And let's exhale, take everything together, Samasatihi. And now I'm going to set up the blocks for some standing poses. Standing poses are great for the hips, for working on the stabilization, strength, mobility. So we'll step out, starting with Trikonasana, triangle pose. Turn the left foot in and the right foot out. So you really feel the external rotation in the front leg. There's internal rotation on the back leg, but you still feel a little bit of external rotation for support as we reach. You could have your hand here, or you could use a block on any height. And then roll your shoulders away from your ears and just notice what's going on in your hips. Are you stable? And then start to open the left shoulder, reaching. I feel a nice stretch here. Feels really good. Inhale, rise up, and let's pivot. Start turning the right foot in, the left foot out. You feel that happening from the hips, and there's a balance going on. And taking the hand down, rolling the shoulders open, and breathe. Notice how stable you are in the hips, and then open the upper body, breathe. And then inhale, rise up. Now we're going to go to revolve triangle or Parvrita Trikonasana. So in this pose, the hips are both facing the same direction, forward, and we'll reach the left arm up. I like to take my hand in my right hip crease and pull it back so that I'm getting the most length I can out of the hamstrings on that right side. Then I take the hand down. Now the twist happens in the rib cage, not the hips, as you turn. So keep the hips nice and stable and strengthening and balancing. Turn, turn, and then inhale and rise up. We'll go to the other side. Pivot the feet. Inhale, right arm up. Pull that left hip back with that left thumb so that the hip stays stable. Now we're turning the ribs. So turn the right ribs to the left as you reach up. Roll that left shoulder open. And try not to turn the hips. Breathe, inhale, exhale, let the twist happen, and then inhale and rise up. And now we're going to come into Warrior Two. So I'm going to go a little longer with my stance here. And we're going to really open the hips. So trying to melt straight down. So everything's really open. And then I just gaze over the right fingertips as I breathe, inhale, and exhale. And then from here, Utthita Parshvakonasana. So you could have your forearm here. We'll circle this arm. Or you could be here, or I'm going to use the block here. And breathe. Inhale, feel the hips nice and stable. They're working though, they're really opening. And then you turn the right ribs up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, rise. We'll go to the other side. And then from here, bending. Nice and open. And then inhale, exhale, gazing over the fingertips. And now we're going to come into Utthita Parshvakonasana. So you could circle. Maybe you want to be here or you stay here. I'm going to go here. And reach. Inhale, feel the strong support of the legs as you turn the left ribs up. Breathe. And then I'm dropping the hand to rise up. And then we're going to pivot to the right again. This time I'm going to take the back knee down. So I'm going to try and be a little forward of that knee, not right on the kneecap. You could always use a little padding if you needed. Let's come into Anjaneyasana before we come into Parvrita Parshvakonasana. So Anjaneyasana, we're tucking the back butt under, pulling the right butt back, lift the sternum, and start to come into Anjaneyasana. Just feel how all the stuff, everything going on in the hips, and now the upper body. Inhale, reach. Exhale, go back. reach, back. Inhale, rise up. And now I'm going to take it across for Parvrita Parsvakonasana. So it's okay if your left shoulder rolls a little in. Just try and get your body across. And then press your hands together in prayer position and start to turn a bit. Now I'm going to gaze down and really work on pulling my right butt back as I turn. That's the support. You can really feel that. And turn. You could look straight ahead. You could look up. Breathe. And then rise up. Feel the work of the right glutes when you do that. And then we'll go to the other side. So taking the back knee down, make sure you're a little forward of the kneecap. Anjaneyasana. Angel arms. Shoulders down and engage. The back engages. Right butt is under. Left butt pulling back. Inhale. Exhale. Reach. Inhale. Exhale. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Now we're going to come across. Inhale here. Really try to get that shoulder across, even if you have to roll it in a little bit. Press your hands together. Start a little turn. We're going to really work on pulling the left butt back. Keep your gaze down at first. It helps for balance. Inhale. Exhale, starting to turn the ribs. Inhale. And exhale. And now inhale, start to rise up. Really feel that, the left glutes. And then take a step up to the front. Samasthiti. And then from here, we're going to come into a couple of standing balance poses. So I'm going to move the blocks up to the front. But it will really show you, or you can really feel the wisdom in the hips here. So we're going to go Warrior 1, right foot forward, left foot back. Then we're going to go to Warrior 3, Ardha Chandrasana, and then Parvrita Ardha Chandrasana. But just follow along. If you use the blocks, it helps modify a bit if you find that hard. So here we are in Warrior 1. And now we're going to reach forward, lift the back heel, just like we did earlier, right? And we're going to come into Warrior 3, which is no easy feat. This is a hard pose. Reach. You can really feel that right butt working. Take your hands down at any time. And now we'll come into Ardha Chandrasana, which is an open pose. This back foot can be flexed, it can be flointed, it can be pointed, whatever you want. This leg could be high or a little lower if you want. And then we come back. Now we're going to go the other way. So really pull that right butt back. Twist. Feel the right hips strong. And now this is the hard part. See if you can reach. And then step back. Warrior 1. And rise up. And we'll take a step up. So here we go, other side. Step the right foot back. And we come into Warrior 1. Breathe. And now we rise up. Lift the back heel. Reach into your Warrior 3. Warrior 3, reach. You could take your hands down at any time. And we start to turn. Ardha Chandrasana. You could point, flex, you could floint, open, the leg could be higher. Whatever feels good in your body. And then come back. And then feel that left hip really strong as you turn, turn, turn. Coming back. This is the hard part. Reach and step back. And come to standing. Well, hopefully that went well. It's invigorating. And you just do what you can. Using the blocks really helps if you're struggling a bit. Now I'm going to turn the blocks on the low level and we'll come into inhale, downward facing dog, exhale. So just step back to down dog for a moment and notice how everything feels after that. We're going to make our way now down to the floor. So sometimes I like to practice this, Lolasana. The blocks help. Can lift up and come down. So we'll start here in Dandasana, and we're going to make our way into some hip openers. So let's bend the knees and really curl the pelvis back for a moment. Now let's just let the left knee fall and the right knee fall. Notice, do you have any restrictions in your hip? And we'll go the other way. Just notice what's going on there today and come back. Now I want you to take the front leg as best you can at a 90-degree angle and the back leg as best you can at a 90-degree angle. But back leg not as important as the front leg. You really want to try and find that. And if you find you're really falling over on the right side, you could take a block and put it there to help you sit up. So you do what you need. And the goal here is to really get into the right glutes, the right outer hip. You might feel that the internal rotators on this left leg, and that's okay too. But as we come forward, you'll feel less of that and more of this. So come forward and really try to press your chest down. And maybe in opposition, you try to almost lift the knee up a little bit. And then start to sink down, melt. And see if you can get into that right glute. Really go deep. Inhale, but be wise. Exhale. Listen to your body. Inhale. If you're getting a really good stretch and you're up here, stay there. But see if you can allow the breath. So really inhale, quiet down the nervous system. Exhale and see if you can go deeper. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, rise up. We're going to take it into a pigeon pose. So I'm going to bend this knee a little bit more. Ideally, you have your knee aligned with your hip, but that could vary depending on your knee. So no knee pain. We're going to lift up this time. And I'm going to use a block here under my right foot. So I use it this way, not this way. It gives there's more room. And then I turn. And then even though I'm on the block, I'm trying to lift up a bit. And then we come forward. You can keep turning this back leg in as well. So you might feel the hip flexors in the back leg. Now come forward and try to lean in. We're trying to deepen the hip crease in that right hip. You want to feel the outer hip. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Can you breathe? If not, you got to come out a little bit, right? Find a place where you can inhale, exhale, and feel like you're going deeper and not resisting. And then from here, we're going to inhale, rise up, and see if you can, if you're on the block, can you lift up off the block? Just see where you go. Lift up off the block. Actually, we're going to take the left hand, reach up. Some of you might be able to take both hands, lift. So now I'm actively using my legs and my hips. And come down. And then I'm going to take the block out. We'll come down. I'm going to find that 90-90 again. You can take your hands behind, or maybe you don't need them. And we go to the other side. So if you used a block, we're going to bring it around and really finding this shape. 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And if you're really leaning, prop yourself up. And you might feel this internal rotation. That's good. That's okay. And then start to come forward. And really feel like you're pushing your chest down towards your leg. And maybe you're even resisting with that leg and lifting the knee up a little bit. And really push. And now add the breath. Go deep. Go deep into your wisdom. Inhale, which means you're just in this moment. Exhale. And you're not pushing too much, just enough to allow the depth to happen. And then inhale, rise up. We can bring this foot in a little bit. Trying your best to keep your knee aligned with your hip, but that could be different in different bodies. You definitely don't want knee pain. And then come up, turn the right hip in. You could come up on a block and keep trying to find that. Keep turning that back hip in. When you found where you want to be, you can point the toe and start to come forward. And I'm really pressing my chest down towards my leg and breathing. Inhale, deep breath in, deep breath out. And just listen to your body. Hopefully you're feeling a nice stretch in the outer hips here and the glutes. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, we're going to rise up and lift up, like you're not even using the block if you can. And then we're going to reach the right arm up and go back. back, go back. And slowly coming down. I'm going to take the block out, come down, find that 90-90 again, and play around here. You can always use your hands, but maybe you don't have to, and come around. Now we're going to find our way into Dandasana and try and sit way up. And if you can't do that, then sit up on a prop. And let's go ahead and bend the right knee. And we're going to come into Marichyasana C. It's a nice twist. So have an energy of your right butt going in the direction of your right heel. And we'll start to come across. And this leg stays active, right? The left leg. And I have the crook of my elbow on my knee or below my knee. And I'm lifting up. And then from here, lift up and turn. And we're not twisting in the hips so much. We're trying to get the ribs around. And you could, if it felt okay in your body, come across. Inhale and exhale. Maybe move your right hand so that you can inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn. My body's saying it likes this. I can hear little pops in the spine, which is good pops. We'll bend the left leg. You can also do this, just so that you know, on a block. If you were finding you're having a hard time keeping your left hip down, right? So we're coming around. So there's an energy of that left hip to the left heel, and then I turn from the ribs. And if it felt okay and you wanted to, inhale, and I move this hand, exhale, and just turning the ribs, breathing. And then inhale, come back around. And then from here, we're going to come into Dandasana again. And let's take the feet out for Upavishta Konasana, wide angle. And if you notice when you did this, your body went way back like that. That's okay. You could bend your knees and try and sit up. And you could even play around with going back and sitting up and going back. And you want the inner thighs. Some of you, if you're opening up and you're feeling it, might be able to come forward and really I'm trying to send my butt back as I sent my heart forward. And breathe. Really getting deep into the hip creases here. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, rising up. And then let's bend the knees. We're going to do something fun. Inhale and open. Lift the sternum. Lift, lift, lift. This pose should be fun. And then let's take the legs together. And then what happens if you let go, Navasana? And slowly release. And then we'll take the legs down, Paschimottanasana. So if your back is rounded, you could use your little prop here, bend the knees. You could have a longer prop. Bend the knees, keep the low back engaged as we come forward and deepen the hip crease in this forward bend. Breathe. Inhale, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale. Getting real deep in the hip sockets. And then inhale, lengthen. And we'll release. I'm going to take us now down to the floor. I'm going to use a couple blocks. It's for a supported back bend. Feels really nice. Inhale. So I'm trying to get one block, and I'll have to adjust it as I go down, right at the bottom edge of my shoulder blades, so it's opposite my sternum, and the other one behind my head. Then to start off, I'm going to bend the knees and get a sense of the sternum really lifting, and I'm actually have an energy of my butt going back. So I feel the back bend happening here as I reach my arms. It's not so much in my shoulders. It just feels nice. And then we'll change this a bit. We'll open the hips. You could close your eyes here. You could pause the video. This should feel really nice. If it's too intense, you could take your arms out to the side, or you could grab your elbows. Breathe. And then slowly coming out. Legs out in front. Reach the arms. Start to curl and come up. And then I'm going to put the blocks back. And we'll curl and go back down. So really, when you curl, this is a nice spine stretch. Really pull the belly in. Really scoop the belly in, articulating down. and hands down. And from here, we'll articulate up into a bridge. So curling, feeling the back of the legs. Lift up, and now feel a nice stretch in the front of the hips. Lifting. You can really lift up. You could interlace your hands. Maybe you want to get up a little higher. Lift. I really feel it under here. Now we're going to reach the arms. Maybe you want to lift the heels as we slowly articulate down. Pull the belly in. Articulating down. And then letting the arms come down. And now we'll finish with an inversion. So you could just have your feet up. You could be on a block under your pelvis. You could have your feet against the wall. I like to go into halasana, so if that's doable in your body. Plow pose. Some of you might want to come into shoulder stand, but make sure your chin isn't down or back, nice and neutral. Be wise. It has to feel good in your body and smart. And come down. And then bending the knees. You could pause the video here too and just take your time. Or we all meet here and then bend the knees. We're going to take it into a twist. So let's lift the hips up, shift to the left. Let the arms go out to the side. Knees up and knees over. And then from here, see how this left shoulder is lifted. I'm just going to slowly breathe. Exhale. And the shoulder comes down. And I'm really turning my right ribs to the left. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then bring everything back. We'll go the other way. Lift up. Shift to the right. The knees come up. The knees go over. This right shoulder comes up, but then I breathe and I try to get it to roll open a little bit more. Exhale, not forcing. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale, bringing everything back. You could come into a happy baby and just kind of roll around. It should feel good at this stage. And then let's just release into Shavasana. The body knows how to do Shavasana. It's just going deep into that wisdom and staying in that sense of ease and peace. And you could stay here as long as you'd like. I'm going to go over some quotes. Wisdom begins in wonder. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. To acquire knowledge, one must study. But to acquire wisdom, one must observe. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Wisdom is not a destination you arrive at, but a path you walk with patience, curiosity, and grace. Wisdom is the gift of aging. So let your inner wisdom guide you in everything you do. Namaste.